Would you join me for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bless us, Lord, as we gather today for this Freeholder meeting. Guide our minds and our hearts so we may work together for the good of our community. Help us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. Amen. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. Also pursuant to the 2016 bylaws, rules, and regulations of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Burlington, time shall be set aside on the agenda for the receipt of public comments. Public comments will be received with respect to agenda items prior to board consideration of resolutions to be adopted. An additional opportunity for public comment will occur later in the meeting. Public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Unused time may not be transferred to another speaker. Persons may speak once per public comment period. I direct the Deputy Clerk to enter into the minutes of this meeting this public announcement and the advance written notice of this meeting. Freeholder Donnelly.
Here.
Freeholder Gibbs.
Here.
Freeholder O'Brien.
Here.
Freeholder Peters.
Present.
Director Gargano.
Here. Mr. Platt, looking for a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of January 27th.
Second.
Look.
Did you move? Okay, I move. So moved.
Motion by Freeholder O'Brien, second by Freeholder Peters. Questions or additions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. At this point, we'll move on to a presentation. Freeholder Gibbs. This will be a presentation about our workforce development initiative.
Tonight we've invited Anna Paenza here to speak about the progress on our Workforce Development Institute. As a member of the Economic Advisory Panel and the Rowan College at Burlington County formerly, was really proud to be part of the rolling out and implementation of this program, and so I'm very excited to hear all the wonderful things that the Institute is doing in order to prepare Burlington County residents for the jobs that are available for tomorrow, and make sure that we're working with our business community to fill their needs. So I'd like to invite Anna up here to give us a little presentation.
Thank you so much for having us. In honor of National Career and Technical Education Month, we're honored to be here to talk to you about all of what we've been working on and how we're moving forward in this coming year especially. So thank you for this opportunity. I want to take a minute just to introduce executive directors of the Workforce Development Institute, Kelly West and Leah Arter, who are also here with me. And then I'll start by just really going back a little bit through the history of how we got here, and then walking through some of our priorities and how we are moving forward. As some folks may be familiar with, we are very grateful for the initiative of this Freeholder Board, which really charged us with moving forward with the Workforce Development Initiative back in the fall of 2014, really helping us to identify a vision of connecting the businesses of our local community with the workforce of the future and training the workforce of the future to help meet their needs. In our efforts, we've really been working toward creating a unified workforce development plan and have been moving through this process over the last years. And most notably, we set up the Economic Advisory Panel to give us business industry oversight, and the Intergovernmental Task Force, which is really a coalition of all of the partner institutions who are involved in this initiative to ensure that we are taking into account and moving swiftly through the recommendations of our business and industry leaders. As we were going through this process, in July, July 2015, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act became effective. And it was really a demonstration that we were moving in the right direction. All of what we've been working on to build and strengthen partnerships between workforce training and education, to improve the focus on career pathways and industry sectors and emphasize the transition to post-secondary education and training. All of that effort was very much in alignment and ahead of the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. And through the leadership and the initiative of our freeholders and having really charged us with moving forward, we were in a position in July to be able to stand up the Workforce Development Institute, which is in a demonstration of the highest and best purpose, we believe, and really shows practically how to implement the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act in a way that no other county has been able to achieve. So at the inception and at the beginning of the implementation of this act, we stood up the Workforce Development Institute, which really focused on leveraging all of our shared resources, primarily through the staff and training resources housed at the college and at the county and through the county's Workforce Development Board. So those personnel really comprise 3 core divisions: business outreach and incubation, educational program and grants, and career services. The first 2 were stood up in July, and in January of 2016 we stood up the career services division and brought all of the folks working on these efforts under one umbrella across the county and across the college, allowing us really to make the best use of the $8.4 million in resources that are dedicated to helping provide services for the businesses and the workforce of the future. Just to take a minute to talk about what career and technical education is and what we're doing, we're really focused on building a comprehensive system in which individuals can get the skills they need for lifelong career development. It encompasses skills training to be able to enter immediately into an industry or advance in a workforce, and to align their career paths for individuals who may not be interested in college as their first step. In order to help realize these goals, some of our priorities for 2016 are to, and some of what we have in the works, and what I'm really thrilled to report on here, is really the implementation of statewide talent development centers. We were thrilled to learn just in the last week or so that we've received authorization to move forward as a partner in 2 areas: in advanced manufacturing and transportation, logistics, and distribution. So we're one of several counties that will be involved in training statewide, and will be bringing at least 125 incumbent workers, and then also, and that's folks who are currently employed as well as unemployed job seekers, into training programs and connecting them to jobs with industry partners throughout these areas. Another area that we're really focusing on is just really helping all of our businesses understand the comprehensive talent development planning that we're able to provide. So we can help them fill jobs. We can help them fill 1 vacancy. We can help them fill 270 vacant positions if that's what they have. We can do targeted recruitments. We can have positive outreach sessions. We provide space. We provide support services. We can do industry-specific job fairs, and that's all. Those are many of the services that the Job Center has provided, and we connect those then to helping them working with them to understand what their existing staff training needs are, continuing to upskill, to provide specific skills training for those employees, and then also to help them attain degrees and credentials so that they can advance in their industries. So we're able to take it kind of on an industry by industry basis or on a business by business basis to help them craft the training resources that they need, and then to get their staff to the point where they need them to be for their future growth. We've also been working on developing career pathways on a number of fronts, and I'll talk in more detail about what that is, but a big part of that is the Career Coach software implementation, which is actually on the agenda for this evening. And then some other areas that we're really focusing on are, especially in the area of advanced manufacturing and logistics industries, developing credentials and we're sitting down with those businesses, understanding what their needs are, what the skills gaps are, and then crafting programs to help them move, to help them train their folks. and then we're working very closely with folks who are transitioning out of military service in order to help connect them to jobs and to training opportunities as well. So in terms of just a little more detailed look at some of our sector-driven pathways, we have innovative programming underway now, partnering with Virtua for health sciences programming, and for targeted paramedic training. We're also working on integrating our offerings with those of the County Institute of Technology through nursing education. And then we're, through our partnership with Rowan University, expanding that education and enabling folks to continue across to bachelor's degrees and graduate education if they so desire. We've established certificate and are in the process of developing an associate's degree program for advanced manufacturing in response to the input that we've received from various industry partners, and have been very excited about our Women in Sustainable Employment program, which is a partnership that was really led by our key employer partner of PSE&G. Through conversations about helping them with some of their staff recruitment and training needs, we learned that they have access to this incredible model program that targets women to expose them and help them understand what careers in the energy, utility, and construction industry look like. And so we are just this Saturday going to be starting our second session. When we take that into consideration with the first session that we ran in the fall, we'll have a total of 35 participants who will have been trained, and we have 5 very active, involved employer partners in that process. We have a number of other employers who have sent us their job postings and are participating not so much in the program development, but in the hiring process for participants. We've also established an entrepreneurial certificate for the trades, and we have 11 individuals currently enrolled in that program, and are continuing to work very closely with BCIT and the Special Services School District to bring many of our adult career and technical education offerings into alignment and to really offer them as one package. In particular, nursing is one example. We're also looking at developing the advanced manufacturing program together, and culinary and information technology at this point for this year. I just want to take a minute to just state what a career pathway is. And it really is, as defined by the Department of Labor, it is helping folks acquire marketable skills and industry-recognized credentials by encouraging greater collaboration across all of our institutional partners, as we're situated to do. It's a model that can be adapted for youth, adults, for all ages at all stages in the lifelong learning process. So I mentioned WISE. I just wanted to kind of just say a little bit more about the WISE program. I got into a little more detail earlier, but I think the important part is while we had 35 individuals go through the program specifically, along the way we had we had over 171 inquire about the possibility of employment in this industry, come to information sessions, get exposure. And so a big part of our goal is really, again, to help the community better understand what these job opportunities are, and to understand where they can, how they can transition into these high-paying, high-impact, very sustainable careers. And so it's a much bigger process than just how many folks completed the WISE Pathways program over the course of a week, but really how many folks now are knowledgeable of this career and may be able to participate in future offerings that we're working to establish, such as Energy Industry Fundamentals class that we're developing now statewide. And this class has earned us, this class and this process has earned us statewide recognition and national recognition through the Center for Energy Workforce Development. And we're continuing to kind of share our model and tweak our model as we move forward, as we pilot this program with future offerings. I also want to then now dig a little deeper into the Career Coach software, which is on today's agenda. And this is, I'm just going to give a snapshot of some of the functionality of this program. And thank you very much for considering it, because this is really a formidable tool that's going to help us connect all of what we're doing across many of our points of access. So here's an example of how it looks. We'll be customizing it, and we hope that our plan now is that it will be fully accessible to the public in the first stage by summer. And so this is just sort of a landing page for it at, as you can see, we borrowed this from Monroe Community College, which has already implemented this in New York. But this just gives you a sense of how you can start if you're not sure where to start. So beginning with, you can either enter your degree that you're pursuing. You can, if you have a military background, you can enter what those skills and what that background is. Or if you're not sure where to start, you can go through a little bit of an assessment to help you analyze what areas are a good fit for your skills and interests. So as just a test run, I put in if I am pursuing an associate's degree in electrical engineering, and this is the search kind of box that comes up. It's very hard to see, so I'll talk a little bit more. I'll just share that it just gives examples of jobs that are available. It lists the pay scales, it lists the number of vacancies that are available, and if you click on each of those, if you click on the job, then it will tell you a little more about what the kind of average median pay is in relation to other pays, and also what some of the demographics are in terms of folks who are going to be retiring and whether it's in a growth area in your region, and it's very regionally specific. If you don't know, like going back to kind of the first page, if you don't know where to start, you can go in here just as an example of just likes and dislikes. Do I like working with my hands? Do I like being creative with being artistic? Kind of walks through a set of questions that you can answer just kind of on, kind of from a zero, like dislike, like scale, put in what your answers are. And kind of just random listing of likes and dislikes came up with, it comes up then when you evaluate it with a recommendation for some areas that might be a good fit if you're investigative or realistic or more conventional. These are some good career matches for you, and then you can kind of click through those matches and see some offerings. And so having gone through that process again in a test run, we come up with a match for that set of interests of conveyor, operator, and tender, and it walks through what the career does and some of the demographics as I explained before. And so this is something that we're really looking at having be available for many of our career counselors across the board. At our job center, our advisors in our community college, this will be based on the Rowan College of Burlington County Workforce Development Institute website, but we will have links to it from high schools, from our county library system, from county libraries, and through the job, all of the resources that connect into the job center on the county's website, and our municipal partners. So we're very excited about rolling this out this spring and having the first phase of it be fully operational, and by the end of the year we'll have it very integrally connected into what the degree offerings are and the courses are that you can take at the college that align with your job interests. And so I think I want to just close by saying our president of the college has been sharing this quote of the Secretary of Labor, from the Secretary of Labor, Thomas Perez. And we've grown fond of thinking of ourselves as the secret sauce that is really empowering communities and strengthening businesses and invigorating local communities. And we're thankful for this initiative having been adopted and spearheaded by the Freeholders, and for the green light and the support that you've given us over the last few years to continue to march these projects forward. And we're looking forward to continuing to share them with you as we go along. You're welcome. Thank you so much.
We're good. Thank you very much. Before we move on to public comment, could you bring up the boards? On tonight's agenda, we have the addition to the Burlington County Animal Shelter. It's item G22. It's the expansion project. These are some of the conceptual drawings that have been put out and that are that our architect, with approval this evening, will be continuing to do design off of. The thought process, I think, for the freeholders and for the community is that this becomes a very public-friendly facility to attract people in. So if you're looking to adopt an animal in Burlington County, or you're looking for an animal, this is the first place that you would show up to. Our belief here is this will save lives. We're going to find homes for a lot of our unwanted animals, and they will be giving a lot of them a second chance. This will save tax dollars because the quicker, this is a shared service among all our county, all of our townships, all 40 communities in Burlington County are involved with this. And the quicker that we can get these animals adopted and out and into good homes, it's going to save just tax dollars for the maintaining and keeping them there for as long as some of them have been kept there. This will put the Burlington County Animal Shelter to lead in public sheltering. I mean, I think we have one of the, probably the best shelter in the state of New Jersey, and I think this will actually take it to another level. The other part that it's exciting for me is that the one thing you'll find out when you go over to the Burlington County Animal Shelter, you're going to find a large group of volunteers. It's hundreds of them, and they're the friends of the Burlington County Animal Shelter. Any day you're there, you'll see 10, 20, 30, 40. There's an event coming up that there's probably going to be 50 of them out there working every day, whether it's walking dogs, petting cats, doing the things that can make a difference. And I think this is something that shows that we're supporting them also. At this point, I'm going to bring Holly up, who's the head of our health department. She's got some statistics that she'd like to tell us, and if she had any other comments she'd like to make, we would appreciate it.
Thank you, Freeholder. We are very excited at the addition to the animal shelter. Through the hard work of our staff and the volunteers that are there day in and day out, we have seen an improved numbers of animals leaving our facility over the last couple of years. And just to give you some comparison from last year, this time to this year, we've already seen adoptions up by over 40 animals, more animals going out to rescue, and probably the thing that excites people the most is our euthanasia numbers are down and continue to go down thanks to the hard work of all the staff and the volunteers that really do care about the animals that are at our facility. And so we're very excited, both the staff and the volunteers, about this expansion project. We've had the opportunity over the last couple months to kind of see some other facilities in the area, and by far, this one is going to be the creme de la creme of animal shelters, and we really encourage our residents to come out and see the wonderful changes that are taking place. We now have same-day adoptions. You can come in, find the pet of your dreams, and leave with that pet. And with the expansion, we'll actually be able to hopefully send you home with some supplies that you'll be able to purchase as well. And so we thank the board for their support, and we thank the volunteers and our staff for their support as well.
Thank you. At this point, we'll move on to public comment on agenda items. Do you have anybody signed up? This part of our public comment is on agenda items. We have another section at the end of the meeting which will be about any other items you would like to discuss. I have 3 Chesterfields, Dawn, Vince, and Diane. Is later. Okay, that's what I figured.
Non-agenda.
Teresa?
Well, as you probably can tell by the t-shirts, we came essentially ready to support our shelter. We really are the Friends of the Burlington County Animal Shelter. We have 200 strong plus volunteers. We've been friends since about 2010 at this point. What I want to share with you actually is the importance of this project to the animals at our shelter. It is really fundamentally amazing to actually have such wonderful support from the community, the freeholders, and the shelter administrators. It is the difference, I think, between being able to make major improvements in liability rates for our cats. I have to tell you that our dog rates probably not going to change that much because they are amazing. So essentially, giving our cats more space for community rooms. What that means is fewer will get sick and die from essentially illnesses related to stress at the shelter. The other amazing thing that I will tell you is that at least for our dogs, The improvements to the shelter also include improvements in the existing spaces. Part of the shelter is aged at this point, and we have had for the last 2 years running flooding related to just damage in pipes. So having the oldest section of the shelter receive a makeover actually will be very beneficial for the outcome of the building, and then the ability for the animals to be safe at the shelter. We are very excited actually with everything from the changes that have occurred since December when we got a new shelter manager, and having the support of our Freeholder has been just what's made the difference for our shelter. I'm honestly quite proud to be the president of the Friends, and I actually would like to encourage anyone who has an interest in the well-being of the animals at our shelter to actually join us. We are a group of people who appreciate everybody's individual talents, and whatever you can bring to support us in a way that makes it better for the animals there, we'd be very grateful to have you. Thank you.
Teresa, I need name and address, just for the record.
Okay. Mine? Yeah. You got it.
No, I need, just give it to me.
All right, there we go. Sorry. Teresa Cobaz, 105 Westminster Drive. It's Mount Laurel, New Jersey.
Thank you. John Edmonds, is that items or is that
That's for the, I guess.
for the after park?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Val? Bruce?
Yeah, at the end.
At the end? Okay.
Thank you.
Agnes?
Agnes Marsala, 68 Aldrich Road, Chesterfield, New Jersey. I'd just like to know on item G9, does the Wi-Fi have do you have a public aspect of the Wi-Fi?
The Wi-Fi that they're installing, there is a public access to the Wi-Fi. What it is, it's going to be used for the county services first. Any expandable ability can be used out. If it completely gets bogged down, it'll be used mainly for county uses. But normally, everyone should be able to use the county, that Wi-Fi.
So there'll be like a log-on site?
There'll be a log on,
Okay.
there'll be a free site for the facility.
Thanks.
Yep. Anyone else on agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on to resolutions. I'd like to make a motion that we approve resolutions G1 through G11 by unanimous consent.
Second.
Motion by Gargano, second by O'Brien. Questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it.
Mr. Director, I need to abstain with regard to G1, items Colonial Village Caterers, page 20, and Senior Citizens United, page 58.
As noted. We move on to Freeholder Donnelly.
Thank you, Director. At this time, I would move for unanimous consent of resolution items number G12 through G21.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Donnelly, second by Freeholder O'Brien. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Freeholder Gibbs.
Thank you, Director. I'd like to move items G22 through G29 for unanimous consent.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Gibbs, second by Freeholder O'Brien. Questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Freeholder O'Brien.
Mr. Director, at this time, I move resolutions G30 through G36 for unanimous consent.
Motion by Freeholder O'Brien, second.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Peters. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Freeholder Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Director. I'd like to move item G, resolution G37 by unanimous consent.
Motion by Freeholder Peters, second by Freeholder Donnelly. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? We'll move on to nominations. At this point, I'll open up nominations for a fire marshal to a 3-year term. Do I have any nominations?
Yes, Mr. Director. I would like to move Robert Carr for fire marshal, a 3-year term.
Any other? Hearing none, looking for a motion to close the nominations.
So moved.
Motion by Freeholder Gibbs, second.
Second.
By Freeholder O'Brien. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? At this point, we have a nomination. Could we vote by name?
Freeholder Donnelly.
Robert Carr.
Freeholder Gibbs.
Robert Carr.
Freeholder O'Brien.
Robert Card.
Freeholder Peters.
Robert Carr.
Director Gargano.
Robert Carr. We'll move on to nomination. I'll open up the nominations for the election of Assistant Fire Marshal to a 3-year term. Do we have any nominations?
Yes, Mr. Director, I would like to nominate Stephen J. Woods for Assistant Fire Marshal for a 3-year term.
Any other? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to close the nominations. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Gargano, second by Donnelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. At this point, we call for the vote. Please vote by name.
Freeholder Donnelly.
Stephen J. Woods.
Freeholder Gibbs.
Stephen Woods.
Freeholder O'Brien.
Stephen Woods.
Freeholder Peters.
Stephen J. Woods.
Director Gargano.
Stephen Woods. Move on to item J, nomination election to the Construction Board of Appeals for a 4-year term and designation of the chairman and the vice chair.
Mr. Director, I'd like to nominate James Williams, Robert Carr, Lawrence Cross III, and Michael Wright as members, and Jean Blair as a chairman for a 1-year term, and Robert Carr as vice chairman for a 1-year term.
Any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to close the nominations. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Freeholder O'Brien. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And we will be looking for a roll call vote. Please vote by like read, as read.
Freeholder Donnelly.
Names is read.
Freeholder Gibbs.
Names is read.
Freeholder O'Brien.
Names is read.
Freeholder Peters.
Names is read.
Director Gargano.
Names is read. Let's move on to questions from the press. Nothing? Before we go into public comment, I just have a couple things I'd like to say. I'd like to take a moment to address an issue that many of you are here to discuss, the proposed Southern Reliability Link pipeline. Since our last meeting, we have read much of your material, and we have seen your emails, and our staff has answered your calls. Contrary to the heated rhetoric on both sides of this issue, we do understand your concerns, and we share many of them, which is why I'd like to provide you with a brief update. Last week, this board was sued by the New Jersey Natural Gas in an attack to invalidate our road opening policies. These countywide protect the roads and residents of Chesterfield, North Hanover, Bordentown, and all 506 miles of Burlington County roads and all Burlington County residents. This lawsuit proves that New Jersey Natural Gas does not want to play by the rules, but we will not be bullied. Our road opening policies are our only ability to impact on this project. As such, this board will vigorously oppose this attack by New Jersey Natural Gas. Just as we have actively opposed the proposed route for this pipeline, we will fight aggressively as we defend our ability to protect our roads, residents, and we will keep you updated with this litigation moving forward. At this point, we'll move on to public comment. Dawn Sheraton.
Dawn Sheridan, Chesterfield, New Jersey. To the Board of Chosen Freeholders, this is in regards to the Southern Reliability Compressor Station. My name is Dawn Sheridan. I write this letter to you today because I feel that some things need to be said. Meeting after meeting and month after month, I have attended meetings that your board has put on every 2 weeks. And time again, myself included, have listened and watched how we have asked you for help, in some cases begged and pleaded with you for help, compassion and understanding, all the while you have sat there stone-faced with no emotion to be seen. People have gotten up and asked you four questions, to which you have either said it's in litigation or no response at all. When you do choose to respond, it is at the end of the meeting, and it is a time when we cannot speak back to you. As a parent and human being, I firmly believe that if you give respect to people, you should get it back. If you're asked a question, you should at least give some sort of answer, not sit there looking like the cat got your tongue. When you start the meeting and go over the items on the agenda, we are respectful enough to listen to you. Why is it you cannot afford us the same respect by answering our questions or making comments, and not waiting until the end of the meeting, knowing that if we speak up, we will be asked to leave the meeting? In closing, I will say that I probably speak on behalf of the residents of Chesterfield, North Hanover, New Egypt, and anywhere this pipeline is going through. When I say that when you don't respond or answer our questions, I feel that you have disrespected us. All 5 of you have.
Thank you. Vince Carabin.
The last meeting I attended, I asked when the attorney for the BPU meeting was hired, the date, and what he was paid. And you said that, in fact you did, Mr. Gargano. You said that you have an answer for me at this meeting.
I don't have that information right now. We'll get it shortly.
Could we have it for the next meeting?
Yes.
You'll have it before the next meeting.
Okay, well, I can wait, I'm not going to be coming down here. One of the things, I was at the last meeting, and one thing I saw here really was a little disturbing. As Dawn previously said, when we asked you questions, I had asked you a while back what your position was on the pipeline. It was like talking to the ceiling. And there was no response. I never did get a response. And that's okay, because that seems to be what the MO is right now. But the last meeting I was at, Mr. Donnelly addressed by name the mayor of Burlington, who I vaguely know, so it's not like she's a friend of mine. And simply put, he baited her. He addressed her and she answered back. She was asked to leave the meeting. And I find that's wrong. That was just definitely wrong to have her removed from a meeting. If all it was to me was a cheap shot. It was a cheap shot. You can comment, you can say whatever you want, but it was wrong to have a mayor of another community removed in response because she was being addressed, or an issue was being addressed that referred to her. It's wrong. Now you're saying that put aside, I'm a little surprised here. Now, you're saying you're opposed to the proposed route of the gas line?
Wow.
Did I hear that? I mean, on your comment.
I'm just going to, we have been opposed to the route of the route to the pipeline from day one. This is something that we've said for many months, that we've said that. I know you don't agree with what our position is, and I'm not, but what we're saying is that right now, we theoretically have the ability to control what goes in the road and where it goes in the road and how it goes in the road.
Well, it's not so
do
much.
we have control to stop it? I don't think so.
Okay.
But let me just finish. I'm sorry. But what they're trying to do is say that they can go down the middle of the road or any place they want to go without having any input from anybody, not from the towns, not from the county, not from the SOL. And we're saying we wouldn't put up with that anywhere, and we're not going to put up with it there.
Okay, and I applaud you for that, but I'm a little confused now because at the BPU meeting on December 7th, the attorney that you had there, he, representing you, I was there, I mean, I heard it, and he said that you people were in favor of the proposed route. Now you're saying you're not in favor of the proposed route. I'm confused.
We've never been in favor of that proposed route.
The date of the resolution is...
Am I crazy?
I don't have the resolution.
We have a resolution that
Freeholders are on
Remember we
record.
passed a resolution?
Freeholders have passed a resolution on record against the route of the pipeline. And
the placement of the compressor station?
No,
we have not because we felt that was a local issue. Well, we did take a stand on that position of going where they're proposing it to go. We had a secondary route that the state of New Jersey would do some work with their legislation that it could be a route that would not be in front of people's homes. And that is where we've been from day one on this issue.
Well, again, I'm confused because I heard the attorney that was at that meeting say that that you people were in favor of the proposed route.
We'll give you the
This board
rest.
has been saying for 4 months now that they were opposed to the route.
the route.
This board passed legislation that
Yeah,
memorialized
resolution.
legislation.
Well, then what did this attorney, what was he doing at that meeting? He did not question New Jersey natural gas. He actually said that you people were in favor of the proposed route. I mean, so now there's real...
We can get a copy.
Okay. Next meeting, I'll be at the next meeting.
And we'll get you a copy of the resolution that we passed.
Thank you very much.
Diane Carabin?
Well, I have a pre-written comment that addresses the BPU meeting, so I will say it anyway because I'm still under the impression that he spoke on your behalf with no issues. But for the record, I believe church and state should remain separate. You choose to begin each meeting with a prayer to God, asking for guidance to perform your duties in the best interest of your constituents. Simultaneously, you put forth a hidden agenda and hired outside counsel to appear before the BPU and advise that you have no objections to the location of the pipeline and compressor station. How is this project and its location, project and its location not in the constituents' best interest? Quite the contrary, there is nothing to gain on our behalf. You have left us vulnerable to the negative consequences such as quality of life, serious health and safety issues, as well as the loss of value in our homes. So I ask, has God not given you guidance, or have you chosen to ignore it? Perhaps it was a test. If so, you have failed miserably. Reprehensible, all of you.
John Edmonds.
Good evening. My name is John Edmonds. I'm from the Office of Professional Employees International Union, Local 153. I represent the supervisors at the Burlington County Board of Social Services. We've represented them for nearly 30 years. I've been there for about 10 years myself. I have some of the supervisors in the back here with me tonight. The reason why we're coming here is that we were in negotiations. I'm not going to talk about any kind of negotiation pieces, but just that we're in negotiations, and over the years I've been able to get a contract. This time there was healthcare language that was provided to us, that was provided to the other represented group, and they didn't agree to it. And so we said that when the other group's contract comes up, we would go, our contract would expire at the same time, and we'll talk and address about the healthcare language that they provided to us. And it's language that really is simply language that they have the right to do anyway. We just felt like we didn't have to agree to it because the other groups didn't agree to it. And typically there we do collective bargaining that is patterned. So like what wages or benefits or healthcare or anything like that, it's typically whatever we get, the represented and non-represented groups get the same thing. So we negotiated, we couldn't reach an agreement because of that language. And for that, there was other groups. Everybody pretty much got a wage increase there for 2015. We did not. And so far, 2016, there are groups of people that got a wage increase. We did not. And simply what our people want to know is why we were being treated differently. Now, I know that I went to a board meeting a couple weeks ago at the social services. We addressed the same issue as we're addressing before you today. I know that some of you weren't at the last meeting, so that's why we're here to address it to you guys here tonight. But simply put, is that they want us to agree to the healthcare language that nobody else agreed to, but there's other language that they want us to agree to that the other group has. So we don't understand how we're being treated differently, that there's a pattern of bargaining where we can agree to all the negative stuff, but we can't agree to any positive stuff. So we just want to ask you for your support and to go back to the social services if possible. If not, give me a call back. Let me know what you can or can't do. My number is 212-292-4668. My email is jedmonds, that's edmonds23@msn.com. And we thank you, and we hope we have your support.
Thanks, man. Where did you say you're from? I'm sorry.
It's OPEIU, Office and Professional Employees International Union, Local 153.
And who are the other guys that don't have to or do?
It's the CWA, Communication Workers of America.
Sorry, thank you.
Good job. Val Bruce?
Good evening. I know it's been a while since I've been to a freeholder meeting. Nice digs. First, I want to piggyback off of Mr. Edmonds because I am now a supervisor at the Burlington County Board of Social Services. I do attend all our board meetings, so Ms. Gibbs, I hope you can make one soon. And also, I know it's a part-time job as being freeholder, but please come to our meetings, okay? It makes us feel that you care. Secondly, we're talking about the medical language that are in our contracts. I need to know why Burlington County feels that their employees don't need to stay into the state program. because that is the language that we keep getting thrown at us in negotiations. And it has been proven in the past that many other counties have saved money by staying into the state program. So that's my question. I mean, we feel very forced to go out of the state health program. And we're wondering, is it the freeholders? Because we can't figure out who has direct knowledge or who says yes or no to our contract. So that's why we're here, to try to figure out who we can go to get an answer to that.
We don't, it's good to see you again, it's been a while.
Thanks, Jeff.
We don't ratify.
I know you don't ratify,
Or codify.
but do you have any input on our health benefits? That is our concern. We
I
want to.
suppose the only way we would have direct input would be through those commissioners or officers that we appoint to the Board of Social Services.
Which would be Bruce and Kate.
But if I remember correctly, and Kendall correctly, they're ex officio.
Yes.
Which is,
They're not actually members of that board.
Well, no, they're members.
they're members, they haven't been sworn in yet
There's
this
two
year, but
two
they're members.
freeholders. are-
They're actually.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Were you sworn in last month? Because I didn't see it done.
Well, I think because I was a continuing member, but I've been there the last 2 months.
I did not see you January.
Maybe it was December. I was there, I was last
You
week.
were there December, and you were there last month.
But in terms of healthcare benefits, state healthcare versus not being a state healthcare, the county, I don't know how engaged we get with the Board of Social Services on that, but the county, in fact, has saved a great deal of money versus being in the state system.
But it's been proven in other counties where they have not. And we're talking millions of
It's
dollars.
proven in other counties too, that we can raise taxes every year, we can't do that here.
I'm not asking you to raise
The point I'm making is
taxes.
we're saving money. Each year, we task our vendor with going out to look and see if in fact the state benefit system, the state healthcare system is better for us. It doesn't come back. It's been,
Is it better for you as the employee or better for the employee?
it's better for the county in terms of the cost. And we have to collectively bargain our agreements anyway. So if in fact the unit didn't like it, they wouldn't ratify it. The healthcare system that we're obligated to provide has to be equal to or better than. We can't unilaterally change any healthcare system. I'm talking about county government. I'm not talking about the Board of Social Services. I don't have that collective bargaining agreement.
Okay, so who,
I think the guarantee that with any healthcare, as far as I know, it would be the same or better. That's the guarantee, I mean, unless you're negotiating a thing, but if it's just a matter of a change, it has to, if it's because it's a different company or different, it would be same or better.
okay, but who do we go to get the answer to that?
Well, I think that you're dealing with a negotiating team. I mean, I think that your negotiations, I'm not sure where the particular is the spot to go to actually negotiate the contract in a public forum.
It's
Correct. I'm not asking for
it's-
that, I'm not asking to negotiate
The
here.
thing I'm confident of, it's not us.
Okay,
So it's going to go back to the board. And the board's fiscal folks are the ones that are going to, in concert with the county, look at healthcare benefits once a year.
so our board has the power of yes or no on our medical.
In concert with the county. I don't know that they have the ultimate say on the healthcare. It may come back to us, I don't know.
No, it's the Board of Social
It is the Board of
Services.
Social- okay.
They make that ultimate determination.
They do?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Take care, Bill.
You want a shot? Come on up, Agnes.
Agnes Marcella, Chester, New Jersey. First of all, I'd like to thank you for continuing the fight against NJNG. And I would like to say, hopefully, you're fighting on the valid points that your own engineer testified to before the BPU in April of last year. The right of way and the road openings and some of these are valid points that you're still fighting on. I don't know if there's been any changes to your positions as far as his testimony goes, but hopefully you're still finding that valid and that's what you're fighting with because it is a great piece of testimony.
That is basically the road opening process was changed a few months back. And it was tweeted and it was worked on to make sure that it worked good for all the roads in Burlington County. And I think that's what he was testifying to.
Great. I do hear you say again and again that you believe the compressor station to be a local issue. All issues in all municipalities in Burlington County are local issues. But you do have sway and power and say and cachet over all of them. It would be very nice if you could say, this is our county, we don't want this compressor station. That would take care of the whole problem. There would be no pipeline. As well as, you know, the road openings, a large part of the Pinelands is also in your county. This is a national reserve. It's in our trust. We take it very seriously, and I know you do as well. So just please continue to bear these things in mind. I applaud you for reading the materials that we made available to you. Thank you very much again. But please, please consider, you live in this county, don't, yes, no, it's not, it's a local issue, yes, but it is your county. Everything is a local, the Centerton Bridge is a local issue. You know, all these bridges are local issues. All these things are local issues. Please, you do have to say, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll close the public portion. And we'll move on to comments from freeholders. Freeholder Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Director. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. I think as a new member of the Freeholder Board, we've had one meeting where it was quick in 9 minutes and no one showed up. And the other ones, everyone shows up. We have public comment, which I'm happy about. It means you guys take democracy seriously. You come out, you voice your opinion. On both sides of issues sometimes. You know, we have a public comment where you guys speak, we have a freeholder comment where we speak. We don't really have in this meeting a debate format, fortunately or unfortunately, but that's sort of the reason why we allow you to speak and then we speak. It's not sort of any disrespect or slight on your part, on our part or yours, so please don't take it that way. Other than that, I just want to continue to thank everybody for coming out. Please continue to do so, and have a good night. Safe ride home and watch out for the tornado tonight.
I want to thank especially Anna Pianza for coming out tonight and giving us such a wonderful presentation on the Workforce Development Initiative, as well as speaking about the Comprehensive Talent Development Program and the Women in Sustainable Employment. It's fabulous work. We're very happy to approve a resolution tonight with regard to the software that will enable so many people to hopefully find jobs in Burlington County. Also, very happy to pass the resolution tonight with regard to block grant money that is being used towards our rapid rehousing program. This is a phenomenal opportunity for use of block grant monies so that people can get put into, have access to permanent type placement as opposed to others that are more transient. So this is a great step in a great direction, so we're very happy about that. I'd also like to comment and extend my appreciation for our Human Services Department. We had a forum last night, and our Director in Human Services, Shirley Simpson, was there, as well as Barbara Biglin. And this forum was to bring about more awareness about substance abuse and suicide prevention. We want to do everything we can to keep the conversation going so that more people are enlightened and have the resources to help others that are in such great need and to prevent such catastrophes. So I want to thank you for that, for your time, and for all of your work towards that. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your work. Freeholder Donovan.
Very briefly, Director, tonight the board, under my resolution, has authorized the Director to execute 8 agreements of sale to further our farmland preservation efforts. This is for a total of roughly 770 acres that will go into our preservation program. And of those, I'm happy to report 3 of them with Department of Defense cost shares, which further helps in our efforts to make sure that Base is a resident and an outstanding economic contributor to Burlington County for many years to come. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, sir. Freeholder Gibbs.
Just want to echo Freeholder O'Brien's comments regarding Anna Pienza's update on the Workforce Development Institute. Really love hearing all the great things that the Institute is doing, especially the targeted approach to the industries in this region. We know how much the reports that I had seen when I was on the Economic Advisory Panel, and how logistics and was one of the major logistics and warehousing, transportation were one of the major growing industries here in this region. So it was great to see that we're preparing our workforce for the jobs that are available. So I just want to congratulate all the hard work is definitely paying off, and it was really great. Thank you for being here to share what's going on with the board and with the people in the audience. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Freeholder. I think I've spoken enough tonight, so I'll be real brief. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. We do appreciate your opinions. I want you to all be careful as you're heading home, and I know they're calling for a tornado watch, I guess, until 11 o'clock, so be careful. And have a good evening. Looking for a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Freeholder Peters, second by Freeholder O'Brien. All in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it.